Hello there, DML enjoyers! So, it is Black Friday. Actually, it's slightly after Black Friday for me. But we still have Mr. whalemart here, and I just wanted to let you all know about this in case you hadn't already noticed these deals. We have a black market that actually is giving us a decent amount of extraordinary, ancient, and divine enchantment materials. So, if you do have any spare gems, which some of us do because, you know, we sometimes save them up for events or anything else, this may be something that you want to take advantage of. On top of it, we do also have a reduced price on premium sigil chests, because you'll see here that we can get 5 of them for 250 gems, which compared to their normal value is a lot cheaper. So if you really are desperate for some sigils, this would be the thing that you'd want to purchase at this time. The only problem that I really have with this is, you know, I appreciate the fact that they're giving us the opportunity to purchase these, even if it is in exchange for our gems. The only problem is, this wouldn't look so good if the arena wasn't so bad still. You know what I mean? We've been asking for like over a year for them to actually balance the arena correctly because, you know, there are still lots and lots of people that are stuck in the arena and they can't really get a lot of value out of it, can't get many enchantment mats. So that just makes these look especially good, because trying to grind for 25 extraordinary divine or ancient mats, it takes a long time. Weeks, if not months, depending on which arena you're in. So this is definitely something that will speed up the process for a lot of people. And if you do ever want to add a new team member to your team that's a divine or an ancient, for example, this sort of thing will speed up that a hell of a lot faster than it would by just, you know, trying to actually play the game. It's just, the question is, how much would you be willing to invest into these? I mean, I think it's probably worth picking up for most players if you do ever intend to use a divine, which at the moment you should, because Wonder Acceptance divines are still busted. That could technically change when tyrants come in. We don't know for sure yet, but, you know, if you do ever want to enchant a divine or an ancient, like, for example, Ambrosia here, if we go to the enchantment section for Ambrosia, just to give you an example of how many you need to enchant a dragon when you get into the red star area, it's like 42 divine mats, just for one enchantment star. So, even if you purchase one of these, it's not going to be quite enough to enchant them by 1 star. But again, it depends on the point that you're at, the enchantment level that your dragons are at as well. I technically don't need it, but the thing is, if I do ever want to add another divine to my team, for example, I would really love to have those bonus enchantment mats, you know what I mean? I would really love one of each, so I am actually going to buy both of them personally. Again, it's not going to be game-changing for me, but if you ever do want to purchase any mats, this would be the best time to do it. Primal, do not buy this. Primal dragons are not good. This would be a massive waste of your gems, so do not purchase this. We've also got legendary mats. Don't buy these either, because these are a lot easier to get than ancient and divine mats, and legendaries aren't all that great, to be honest. So you're better off just grinding for those normally. We do also have VIP ticket, which is fine. We've got some stepping stones, which is fine. The only other thing would be, are you going to buy the premium sigil chest? Which again, if you do have a need to purchase them, definitely get this one, because it's a lot cheaper than normal. But aside from that, there isn't really anything else, apart from like a frostbite deal relating to Black Friday. So, you know, it was exciting for about 10 seconds, but that's about it. We do also have a couple of dragons on sale in the shop, but they're all legendaries. The only one that could possibly, I would say, be of any value would be this Love Dragon bundle, because it's £4, it's not that expensive, but it's the Love Dragon, it's not useful. So, the only time you could possibly use it would be if it's like a 4th, 5th, or 6th dungeon team member, for example, just because it's got that light element. It does have wind too, which can have very specific uses in energy dungeons, but overall I would say it's not worth it to purchase. But if you just really want the dragon, you know, $5 really isn't that much of an investment. So, you know, that's the new Black Friday stuff that's going on at the moment. We don't really have any other news or anything related to the new events or anything else. But, you know, I'm sort of trying to avoid the dungeon, because if I know that we're going to have to do some level of dungeon grinding in the near future for another, I say up to 4 weeks, but there is no way in hell I'm going to do 4 weeks of grinding. I'm just being honest. But if we know that that's coming up with the Tyrant events, I'm really trying to reduce the amount of time that I spend in this game, because otherwise I will get burnt out and I will just stop playing. So I haven't really logged in for like the last week. And you know, I think this is something that is worthwhile for a lot of people, how if you just feel like you're getting overwhelmed by the amount of effort that it takes to get anything of value out of this game's events. I say that, treasure hunt's not a big time sink, obviously. It's just the fact that we have to go in and manually click to collect all of these, it makes me not do it. So, you know, I think sometimes it is worth if you just feel burnt out. You don't necessarily have to stop playing the game. You can just take like mini breaks, and it tends to work out pretty well for me at least. Just so that then, you know, you're not constantly playing this game and being like, why do I have to play an entire week's event just for, like, one epic dragon? You know what I mean? Like, Cake Craze. At least I've already got Sunset, so I could completely skip this, but, like, I'm not playing Cake Craze for a random epic that I already have. You know? It's not gonna happen, so... You know, I guess at this point in the game where you've got pretty much all of the dragons that you could need for a team, you're mainly just saving up for resources in terms of food and stuff like that. It's very different to me than it is to, say, a newer player. But the problem is, if you're a newer player, chances are you don't have a good dungeon team ready for all the grinding that we're going to have to do. So, as usual, I will say that this is the time where you really have to get your dungeon teams ready for the upcoming Tyrant event. Because if you don't, you are probably going to have a much worse time than someone that does have a dungeon team ready. Because again, you're gonna have to be... If you want to give yourself the best chance, you're gonna have to be grinding that dungeon every single week to try and get that dungeon dragon to give you those higher stats to progress in the event. Which, maybe you're just going to ignore the event, which I know quite a few people have already said that that's what they're going to do, but... You know, I cannot stress enough that you will need to get your dungeon teams ready, because getting the dungeon dragon is not guaranteed even before you hit that purple chest. Even when you hit that purple chest, it might not turn up. That is, unless they've changed the dungeon balancing and the percentages on the dungeon dragon, which they could, and I'm really hoping they do for the sake of the newer players, because otherwise they're probably not going to have as much fun in the event. And by newer players, I don't just mean like level 10 players. I mean like level 50 players or level 80 players, because they're still relatively new and you can level up pretty fast in this game. So some of those players may still just be using, you know, epics. They might not have any divines, they might not have any ancients left, or yet. So for those players, you know, I want them to be able to get decent rewards out of this event as well. You know, Dragon City allows you to do that. Other collecting games allow you to do that, so I would expect the same out of this game as well. And I say that I would hope, but we know that that doesn't really happen, so it is what it is. But I can be hopeful for the sake of everyone. You know, I just don't want the Tyrant events to be a flop. I really don't want people to not play the game anymore. You know, I have more reasons than most people to want this game to succeed, so... You know, that's why I give out guides and tips and everything like that to try and help people through this event so that this game can succeed and we can all have fun. I know it's difficult in DML sometimes, but, you know, that's the ultimate goal. You know, we could just abandon ship and go elsewhere, but at the same time, I know that this game has the potential to be better than it is. So I just wish that some of the things that they implemented weren't so anti-player. Like, I get it, they need to make money, that's fine. I 100% support them in trying to make money out of this game so that they can make the game better. But that's the problem, they seem to make money, and yet the game has just been slowly, over the last couple of years especially, just getting steadily worse in terms of the overall game. Like, the map is, there's nothing to do on it anymore, arena's busted, dungeon is incredibly boring, their new events, treasure hunt and now Tyrant events aren't looking too hot, you know what I mean? So, the one good thing that I did praise them for recently were some of their Ancient and Divine events for making some changes that were more player-friendly, that did allow more people to get some of those ancient dragons, but then they ended, and now it looks like we've gone backwards again. So I'm just feeling a little bit, you know, I guess, bored at the moment, because if there's no hope for something more positive to happen, then it does kind of kill the motivation. That's why seeing things like this is fine. I just really hope that they fix the arena one day as well. I know that clans, they're looking to revamp those, but there's no word on those yet either. But, you know, clans could be make or break for this game. They could be really good when they re-release them, so I'm not completely down in the dumps. I will say the skeptic in me says it probably won't turn out as positively as a lot of us would hope, but more than willing to be proven wrong, and, you know, for them to release a fantastic event, and, you know, we have great dragons, and the pay to win gets cut down a little bit, you know what I mean? But anyway, I mainly just wanted to make this to make sure that you were taking advantage of the whalemart deals. It is gonna stay here for another day, so through the weekend. But just in case you haven't bought the things that you want already, make sure you log in and do it, because we will not see deals like this very often at all. But ignore those primal materials, please. Please don't buy them.